The new DJI Mini 3 is $200 cheaper than the Mini 3 Pro. Is that a bit of a false economy? I wonder if it could be. Let's talk about it now. Stewart Carroll here, pleasure to talk to you. As always, grab yourself a copy of our DJI drone comparison chart. There's now 12 drones on there. You'll be able to look at a glance and see which drone is for you. Lots of facts and figures to make your way through. If you download a copy of that or our free ebook From Drone Zero to Drone Hero, you are joining our community, the Stewart and Alina special community. We will be able to keep in touch with you off the YouTube platform. We have more freebies in there and lots of useful guides and resources to help you on your journey. The Mini 3 Pro is $200 more expensive than the Mini 3. So let's throw up on the screen all the differences, what you get for that extra $200. Why do I think it could be a false economy buying the Mini 3? There are two reasons. First of all, no obstacle avoidance. Second of all, camera specifications have been somewhat hobbled with some software restrictions. Now, in terms of obstacle avoidance, well, let me just throw up a little montage and make up your own mind whether or not you think you need obstacle avoidance. I don't know how responsible you are flying a drone. Fantastic if you never ever have accidents. What I can say is that obstacle avoidance has saved us 1,000 times over and above those actual collisions. So for me, personal opinion, I do think obstacle avoidance is very important. A knock-on consequence of not having these forwards and backwards vision positioning sensors on the Mini 3 is your return to home does not have obstacle avoidance engaged. Now with this Mini 3 Pro, when you're returning to home, if obstacles are sensed, you can set the drone to either fly around those obstacles or attempt to fly up and over them. You don't need to worry too much about setting your return to home altitude diligently. If you have a drone with no obstacle avoidance, then you need to make sure that you set that return to home altitude high enough to clear any potential obstacles on the way back. Now, mindful that the Mini 3 is a drone for beginners, many of whom have not taken the time, inclination, or have any interest in going through those menus. Are you always going to be sure that your drone is going to clear any obstacles on the way back if you don't have obstacle avoidance? These obstacle avoidance sensors give us access to focus track. That's your active track, your spotlight, and your point of interest intelligent flight modes. Now, often as a solo creator, traveler, adventurer, I cannot imagine a drone without those functionalities. This Mini 3 Pro created some extraordinary shots thanks to focus track. The Mini 3 does come with quick shots, which I absolutely love, and we've made many videos here on the channel explaining why quick shots are so good. Now, for me personally, it still frustrates me to this day that quick shots are limited to 30 frames per second. We don't shoot 30 frames per second, we shoot 25 frames per second at 99.9% of the time. For lots of you, you won't care about that. It also frustrates me that quick shots on all drones are limited to the normal color profile. Now we'll get into that in a second because, as you may know, the new Mini 3 only comes with a normal color profile. Wrapping up on the consequences of no obstacle avoidance, we don't have APAS, the Advanced Pilot Assistance System. It's something I've never used, I hasten to add, so it would be a little bit rich of me to claim that that is a huge loss. But for beginners who this technology is aimed at, well, it is a little bit of a loss. We don't have master shots either. Again, something I've never used, so I'm not going to lose too much sleep over that one. But again, for beginners, it's a functionality for whom that function is targeted. It's a little bit of a loss. And we don't have hyperlapse either. Let's talk about the camera on the Mini 3. It's the same incredible camera that comes on the Mini 3 Pro. Fantastic. I could write a love letter to the picture quality that we get from this Mini 3 Pro. The only issue is it's been absolutely crippled with some software restrictions to help differentiate these two products. So what we don't get is Cine-like color profile, which gives us 10-bit color. Our bitrate's reduced from 150 megabits per second to 100 megabits per second, and we don't get 4K 60 frame rate. The argument is that beginners aren't going to care about any of that stuff, and I can relate to that, but by the same token, beginners aren't going to care that the Mini 3 has a 1/1.3 inch sensor versus the 1/2.3 inch sensor that you get on the Mini 2, because the Mini 2 produces an incredible picture under 99.9% of realistic shooting environments. I've never had any complaint about the daylight performance of the Mini 2 drone. So we have to be a little bit consistent with our logic here. Do the purchasers of the Mini 3 care about the fact that it has an upgraded sensor? If so, they would want potentially the D-Cinelec and the 10-bit. Even if you don't care about it today, you might care about it in a year's time, which is why there could be an argument for paying up that extra $200 today to get a camera that you can grow into as your own expertise grows. There are some other differences between these two drones. None of them I think are deal breakers. A tiny bit of internal storage is quite handy on the Mini 3 Pro if you forget to put a memory card in there or you leave your memory card at home. I'm not overly bothered about the difference in transmission strength between O2 and O3. I certainly don't care about the fact that we only get a 720 video transmission feed to the controller either. Anyway, I'm just wanting to give you some facts and share a little bit of my own opinion, but I am coming at it from a, well, shall we say, a more experienced perspective. You can make up your own mind. It's amazing to have all these products available to us. The upgrade for me is the Mini 3 Pro. This is a drone that will give you years of service, even in a professional capacity. The only downside of this drone that I can really think of is in extremely harsh weather environments. It's a little bit jittery. It does incredibly well in windy conditions, but in extreme situations, you're going to need something more powerful. So that depends entirely on your own shooting environment, and you can make a call on that. Anyway, always fun to talk about these things. What a world we live in where you can buy a flying camera for less than $500. Incredible stuff. Grab yourself our free resources below. Join our community. Be with us in this journey together, and we will see you next time.